Well, Grand Rapids is the first stop on a national tour of Funny Girl, the musical brought to you by Broadway Grand Rapids.
We're so happy it's here, and shows are running through Sunday at DeVos Performance Hall. I took a trip there to speak with Stephen Mark Lucas, who plays one of the lead roles in the musical. Take a look.
Funny Girl is currently being performed in Grand Rapids, and audiences everywhere are loving it. I got the chance to chat with Stephen Mark Lucas, who plays the title role of Nick, before one of the shows, and he gave us a sneak preview of what to expect.
Funny Girl is a story of Fanny Brice, who is a trailblazing comedian in the 1910s, 20s, and 30s. She's a huge star of the Ziegfeld Follies, and our story sort of charts her humble beginnings and her rise to stardom, despite people saying, no, you can't do this. She forges her own path. And along the way, she meets Nick Arnstein, who is a gambler and a con man, though very charming. Sweeps her off her feet. They have a romance. They end up getting married. But it's really about Fanny and how she comes to terms with herself and how she sort of ascends the heights of stardom with or without the help of a man.
And Stephen plays one of those men he's referring to and found the role to be a fulfilling one with plenty of highs and lows.
He is a con man, he is a gambler, but I think that he is at heart a romantic. And I think, what's interesting to me about playing the character is that when we meet him, he has everything sort of figured out. And he is, he arrives on the scene. He's sort of a man about town. And as the show goes on, he really faces challenges and he sort of stumbles. He finds some moments of vulnerability in there. And so at the end, he's very different. He's in a very different place than we see him at the beginning. He's sort of the opposite of Fanny's linear rise to stardom.
Amidst all of the drama is some familiar music. Fans of Broadway will feel right at home with so many well-known songs.
Of course, Broadway fans will know People, Don't Rain on My Parade, Who Are You Now? Some beautiful, beautiful songs by Julie Stein and Bob Merrill. I think what's interesting about this show is that the music, especially Fanny's music, really propels the plot forward. So those big songs everybody knows and loves, they're not just great tunes. They really show, sort of Fanny reaching a new height in her stardom.
Whether it's your first time seeing a live musical or you've been coming for years, Stephen says Funny Girl has everything a fan of theater will love.
Well, I've always said that Funny Girl has sort of the essence, the DNA, if you will, of the Broadway musical as a whole in it. It has tap dancing, it has spectacular music. Our orchestra here sounds phenomenal. It's got comedy, it's got jokes, it has some tender moments. So it really just has sort of everything that I think, that made me fall in love with Broadway. I think in this day and age, just seeing a really good, well-done, old-fashioned Broadway show with songs everybody knows and loves is really special. And I think that's what we're all looking for is, a few hours to really be transported in the theater. And I think Funny Girl does that.
Well, it's a cliche, right? You'll laugh, you'll cry. Right?
Exactly,
but
exactly.
You really will at Funny Girl right here, brought to you by Broadway Grand Rapids in West Michigan. Get your tickets today. Want to see the show? Funny Girl is presented by Broadway Grand Rapids, as you heard, through September 24th at DeVos Performance Hall. Get your tickets and more info at BroadwayGrandRapids.com.